Okay, this video is called Mexican Border, Other Perspectives. I just made a video recently about the open border, and this is just a little additional perspectives on here, other things that I've read and people have told me. And by the way, my mom is from Puerto Rico, so, I like speaking Spanish. She didn't teach us at birth, but I learned later reasonably well. I can read novels in Spanish and all kinds of books and converse reasonably well on routine stuff. Can't handle so well if they go really fast with a lot of slang, but I really like Mexicans. Okay, they're nice, they're Catholic, they're pro-family. The open border is not about that. Some people say it's because the Democrats want cheap labor. The more immigrants you have, poor immigrants, the less you have to pay for a lot of low-paying jobs. Okay, some say it's because the Democrats just want an open border because they get voters. I mean, you can get many, many thousand, millions of voters by just having an open border. Okay, and then it kind of raises the question, if America is so terrible and racist, why does everyone in the world want to come here? Okay, all right, now, so anyways, having an open border, getting a lot of fast onset illegal aliens to vote Democrat, that'll help them to win elections. Why cheat on an election if you can just import voters? Why bother helping the American people or improving the economy when it's so easy to import voters? Some say it's because the Democrats want to finalize this idea of making a North American Union, combining the United States with Canada and Mexico. And that appears to be the long-term goal, this giant continent of slavery. Why bother getting approval in Congress to combine us with Canada and Mexico if you can just open up the border? Okay, some say it's because the Democrats want the Mexican cartels to help sell drugs. The Mexican cartels are really organized and powerful, and they'll sort of standardize drug selling. Apparently, that's what some people think is one of the big reasons for it. It's probably all of the above. Some people say it's because the Democrats want a more effective slavery transport system. Once you go atheism, slavery becomes expected. Okay, it's if you throw out Christianity ethics, biblical ethics, then you can expect there'll be slavery. Most cultures since the beginning of the history of the world have had slavery, okay? And it looks like it's coming back. So having an open border with a system of transport is something that'll make it easier to have human trafficking for selling slaves, sex slaves, Hollywood pedophilia, and this other word here. If you want to know what's going on too, you should look up this word right here. Okay, some say it's because Democrats want more crime, poverty, and starvation. You say, well, why would they want that? Why would they want, more homelessness and all these other things that we think of are bad? Well, it's obvious if you think about it. At the current time, the American people still have a little bit of memory about freedom, okay, and prosperity. They don't want communism, okay? But if you can starve them, if you can put them in fear of crime, and if you can make them poor so they're just begging for a bite of food, then they might be willing, then they probably will, to accept the 15-minute cities of 24/7 electronic surveillance with social credit scores, so nobody can do anything that goes even a minute amount beyond political correctness, okay, or they'll just be blocked out of the economy. They'll have 24/7 electronic surveillance. Electric cars, can be turned off with a remote control. They have limited distance to travel. Everybody's going to be kind of locked into a fixed, predictable pattern. A cashless society means that, you can't do anything that, the big brother doesn't want, or you will have your money blocked away from you, just like what happened in Canada to the truckers. Okay, so if everybody's poor and starving and worried about crime, they will be forced to accept communism. And I think that's sort of the big plan. So I think open borders for all these reasons. Oh, and by the way, some people sometimes say to me, I get these trolls and they'll go, oh, I'm atheist, but I'm not communist. Yeah, right, okay? Once you say humans have no right, you just open the door to say communism is a legitimate system of government, okay? And the other thing, too, is some people say, oh, well, I'm meditation, I'm spiritual, all this stuff. When Ashok, I think it was around 300, 400 BC, conquered India, he was this brutal dictator, ruler, tyrant. He just, was ruthless, okay? But once he conquers India, he says, you know what? I decided to become Buddhist. I just want to, meditate. I want everyone else to convert to Buddhism and meditate. What he's really saying is, don't give me any problems. Just sit on your butt and talk to yourself, say Om or something, but don't give me any problems, all right? It sort of pacifies people. That's not the same, and those are godless religions. They don't, a religion with a God in it makes people more upright and strong. It makes people say, it kind of ties them together more. If a person's off by themselves meditating, that's not the same as being in a worship community where there's somebody, you know, a pastor or something, or whatever the leader of the congregation is, speaking to them and getting them to stick together. Religare is to ligate, to stick a people together. So people can do whatever religion they want. But in the United States, the big two competing forces are Christian ethics, biblical ethics, Christian ethics, and atheistic communism. Those are the two big entities. There's tons of other religions, there's tons of other groups, but those are the two ones that sort of decide how society behaves. And basically, America is turning its back on Christianity, and just like the Bible says, if you don't accept it, if you don't, follow the Ten Commandments and try to be nice to each other and accept that humans are partly divine, created in the image of God, then you have no metaphysical foundation of values or philosophy to resist slavery and communism. None. Okay? And so that's why we've got all this type of stuff going on. And you won't be able to prevent it until society sees life and humanity in a different way. So, gosh, I hope America keeps the freedom that it has. I hope it will.